all the data points that I've heard of point in a single direction, and that direction is that average sales prices are decreasing. And average sale prices decreasing comes directly off the bottom line and impacts margins.
The Tesla Q podcast is for informational purposes only and is not intended for and should not be used as financial, investment, or trading advice. Research associated with fiscal decisions should be conducted elsewhere. The host of the show possesses no license or credentials to warrant accepting advice based on what is heard on the Tesla Q podcast. Additionally, even though the host and guests may hold positions in companies discussed on the show, they don't have insights into the next time step of the simulation. Therefore, do not make any financial decisions based on the contents of this podcast.
Hello, and welcome to episode number 36 of the Tesla Q podcast. This is going to be a delivery announcement preview episode for the Q2 delivery announcement, recording on the evening of July 1st, 2019. The quarter ended yesterday with June 30th, and the delivery numbers will come out either tomorrow, Tuesday, July 2nd, or Wednesday, July 3rd. Anything later than the 3rd would be considered late based on their prior quarterly announcements, and obviously July 4th is also a holiday, so they won't announce it that day. So it's going to either be Wednesday or Thursday. Earlier, just within the past few days, my most recent estimate was 87,000 to 92,000 total deliveries, and this is based very unscientifically on my observations from Twitter. Before we go any farther, if you'd like to be a contributor to the podcast, go to patreon.com/TeslaQpodcast and you can become a monthly contributor, and I would greatly appreciate that. Anyone who's already become a contributor, if you'd like for me to give you a shout out on the podcast, just let me know and I will do that. I don't know if people really like that or kind of like that or what, but just let me know. I know some of you may prefer not to be shouted out, so before shouting anyone out, I want you to let me know that you'd like to be shouted out. I know that Captain Future had previously wanted to be shouted out, and also he's ended up on a lot of block lists. He's actually a Tesla fan and an Elon fan, but he's respectable, and I'd converse with him, and he's a contributor to the podcast. So it might be nice if he got removed from the block list, Machine Planet, but if you'd prefer not to do that, that's your prerogative also. But moving back to deliveries, a couple weeks ago on June 17th, Gator Investor had a thread where he was requesting people's guesses of the delivery number. And back on June 17th, I had said 82,420. Subsequent to that, I've become less bearish about the delivery number, or bullish if you assume that Tesla will lose more money with more vehicles sold, which is very possible. So I've went from 82,420 to somewhere in the approximately 88,500 range. So I think for a final estimate before the number comes out, I'm going to go with 88.5. And that's kind of based on current expectations. That's probably right in the middle of the neutral range. So I actually won't be surprised at all if there's not much share price action based on the delivery number. I know a lot of people have been thinking that there was the possibility that Tesla would have a large delivery number and it might cause the share price to spike, but it's also possible that all those expectations have already been priced into the stock. So looking at the price channel that I've been using as a guide recently, the action this morning with the gap up of the price and then the fade during the day, which wasn't the case only for Tesla. There were a number of other companies that had similar price action today. But with that, the price stayed within the channel that I've drawn, but the upper end of that channel is kind of running out. So I actually won't be surprised if there's not a delivery pop. I've been somewhat hoping for a delivery pop so that I could enter a short position in larger size after such a pop, but such a pop may not happen. And even Tesla charts pointed that out today, that what if, because of everyone expecting this delivery pop, what if it's already priced in and doesn't actually happen? It's definitely a possibility. So who knows what'll happen. Keep in mind, of course, that the financials won't be coming out until a Wednesday afternoon, either later this month or at the beginning of August. I'm trying to pull up a calendar here. So upcoming Wednesdays in July are the 24th and 31st, and then August 7th is the first Wednesday in August. So the actual financial numbers will be out one of those 3 Wednesdays. My guess is probably the 31st of July, but who knows? Depending on whether they're good or bad in Elon's mind, they could be earlier or later, depending on how long it takes to actually finalize all the numbers and dot all their I's and cross all their T's. Yeah, dot I's, cross T's. That may impact how long it takes to get those financial numbers out. Sticking with my terminology of calling it financial numbers, not an earnings report, because it's quite unlikely that they'll have GAAP earnings, even if they have 92,000 deliveries. The gross margins are not what they were before the price drops of the past few quarters. The mix of vehicles sold has degraded in Tesla's favor. It's enhanced in Tesla Q's favor, I guess you could say, with the additional sales of SR Plus Model 3s, fewer Model S's, fewer Model X's. One of the things I tweeted earlier today is that one thing that I look forward to with the financial release coming up in later July is the actual gross margin number coming out and seeing just how different that ends up being from the projections that Sandy Munro came out with last summer with his big turnaround, his about face of his opinion on Tesla, which was oh so celebrated by Tesla bulls and viewed with much skepticism from people like me and other Tesla bears. One thing that came out today, this piece of news, is that Cohen and Company, or Cohen, whatever that firm's name is, came out with a new price target on Tesla, and that was 140. I actually was looking at price targets on Benzinga earlier, which I don't have a subscription, so I don't have the premium version, but they listed about, I think it was 10 to 12 different price targets for Tesla, and of those 10 to 12, 3 of them were higher than the current price, but the other 7, 8, or 9 were lower than the current price. So they ranged from like 140, 158 is the Goldman Sachs current target. Morgan Stanley, I think, is right at 200 still. I don't think they've updated since the infamous Adam Jonas phone call. So overall, the price targets on Tesla currently are not exactly bullish, I would say. There was also a video of a woman whose Tesla auto-accelerated in her garage, which the unintended acceleration that's not a cool feature, especially when you have the level of acceleration that Teslas are capable of. And the other big thing from today was that Elon Musk replied to a tweet from Alp Soysingiz. The Twitter handle is ALPSOY66, and that tweet was retweeting a tweet from Vincent, who is a big Tesla fan, who's probably been blocked by most of Tesla Q. And the tweet said, "Mr. Grant from the Wall Street Journal is not an independent journalist. His father is best friends with Mr. Chanos, who is among the largest short position holders of Tesla stock. Mr. Grant only writes negative, unfounded, suggestive articles about Tesla and Elon Musk, which, in my opinion, serves short sellers FUD." And Elon Musk replied to this tweet from Alp with, "Is this true?" And then he tagged Charlie Grant. So Elon Musk is now openly questioning Charlie Grant's integrity on Twitter. Charlie Grant's article over the weekend was a very good article, and it basically said the same things that I've been saying, which is that we expect Tesla to have a high delivery number tomorrow, but the delivery number is not the important number. The important number is ultimately the cash flow number. A lot of people are going to be looking at the GAAP profits number, which I'll look at somewhat. And as I said earlier, I'll be looking at the gross margin number to see how close Sandy Munro's estimates were and see if the demand level that Tesla has at current prices that they're selling their vehicles at is sufficient to achieve the gross margin numbers that Sandy Munro postulated last summer. But based on quite a number of observations from registration data for vehicles, which breaks down the vehicle types that have been sold, which Tesla Charts has done some excellent work with that to figure out what the VIN numbers mean so that he can interpret which variant of different Teslas apply to which VIN number sequences. That data, on the ground data, such as Mark Johnston's Shorty Ground Force observations of forum posts of people bragging about the great deals that they got on Teslas, all the data points that I've heard of point in a single direction, and that direction is that average sales prices are decreasing. And average sale prices decreasing comes directly off the bottom line and impacts margins. And that was the whole impetus, the whole crux of Charlie Grant's article. And this guy is saying that it was, quote, Mr. Grant only writes negative, unfounded, suggestive articles about Tesla and Elon Musk. How is pointing out that average sales prices are decreasing, how is that unfounded? There's tons of evidence that points to that. Mr. Grant pointed out that the delivery number is probably going to be quite a bit higher than quarter one. It's going to be a nice year-over-year increase from quarter two of 2018, which was before Tesla achieved 5,000 Model 3s per week, which also they hadn't quite achieved as of quarter three of 2018 and quarter four of 2018 based on the sales that they had in those quarters, but that's another story. So this guy's accusing Mr. Grant of writing unfounded information, which is absurd from my perspective, since there's plenty of truth to back up what he wrote. So we're going to find out either tomorrow or on Wednesday what the delivery number is. We'll see if the share price moves any from that. It may not. And then we'll wait for a few weeks. And surely something will happen in between now and then. And Elon Musk will probably call someone a name or call someone's boss or call out another reporter like he did Lynette Lopez last summer and Charlie Grant today. It'll probably be Dana Hull or Laura Kolodny or Russ Mitchell or someone like that. But, oh well. We won't know the true immediate or intermediate term future of Tesla's share price until after their financial results, and particularly the cash flow number. So whatever their delivery number is tomorrow or Wednesday, my guess is that the quarter two cash burn will be in the range of maybe as little as $200 million and maybe as large as $1.2 billion, depending almost entirely on how lax the suppliers are. So if the suppliers extend as much credit as they did previously, or possibly even more credit than previously based on the early May capital raise, that will tell the ultimate story and determine the ultimate runway that Tesla has, with the almost certain to decrease delivery number for quarter three from quarter two, and year-over-year decrease that is very, very likely for quarter three compared to quarter three 2018. So I've said the same thing over and over a bunch, so I think it's about time to wrap this thing up. Don't forget, you can be a patron by going to patreon.com/TeslaQ podcast. You can buy really nice coffee mugs that have a carnival barker on them, or a podcast logo, or a Shorty Ground Force logo, or a Shorty Air Force logo at evacuationboy.com. So check that out. Also, Omerta, her Twitter handle is Omerta22PL. So that's OMERTA22PL. I guess her name is actually Trish. She's got a store also with a lot of her excellent artwork, and that can be found at redbubble.com/people/the shock market. And that's got a lot of excellent Elon Musk artwork on t-shirts and posters and the like that you can find. So check that out. I don't know if she has any special deals. Trish, if you want me to mention a coupon code on the podcast or something, just let me know and I can do that. Thanks for listening. This has been episode 36 of the Tesla Q podcast. Be on the lookout for 88,500 deliveries announced either tomorrow or Wednesday. That's my estimate, my final estimate before the number comes out. And we'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.